thing, but where would you go to celebrate your 73rd wedding anniversary? Man, that's got to be off the charts. No gold, no silver, platinum. I'm not sure you would need all the sparkly things, but joining us here on Good Things, our friend Gary Bachman. He is a horticulturist, but today he's here talking to us about his parents' beautiful love story. You shared, Gary, yesterday in our Good Things Facebook group that they celebrated 73 years of marriage. Wow, that's a feat.
It is. It's absolutely unbelievable, Rebecca. And I was just so fortunate to be there with them this weekend, and it was just a great time to, celebrate, their long lives and their long love story.
So let's tell us about the love story, because everyone on the Facebook group, the Good Things Facebook, was asking about their ages, because, man, 73 is just a good age anyway to live to, but much less being old enough to make that choice in terms of someone to spend the rest of your life with. So when did your parents meet?
Well, they met after my dad came home from World War II, and he was in the tail end, and he was in Iceland for his station. And when they came back, they met, and they got married in 1948. And right now that Dad's 95 and Mom's 93.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And if they're tuned in at supertalk.fm/watch or supertalk TV, I have up there not your beautiful picture, but your parents, so
right,
they can see.
That.
And man, they look good, Gary. Do they eat all of your fresh grown produce? Is that their secret, or do they have other secrets to not only staying in love for 73 years, but looking so fit?
They've taken care of themselves over the years. I can't say it's always been the homegrown. But I will tell you that they have 6 earth boxes on their back porch that they do grow some of their own vegetables still.
So do they have any good tips for the rest of us who are not quite there to 73 years of wedded bliss, but we hope to make it there one day? I'm sure they've been asked often, what makes for a good marriage or a lasting marriage. So what are some of their tidbits?
I think it's really pretty simple, and we overcomplicate it. But it's choosing wisely and treating kindly.
Oh, I love that.
And I mean it's really as simple as that. I don't think that there was any other special tidbits that I could give you. I mean, that's just a good lesson for all of us.
Well, choosing wisely first would be your partner, but then I'm sure also your battles, and then other big decisions through life, and then being kind is always a recipe for good things.
Yeah, that's right.
So how did they celebrate 73 years? Did he still buy her a card? Were there flowers? Was there cake?
I'm trying to think. The other night we went to and had Mexican. My sister and her husband, they retired, and they live like 2 blocks away from them. And so I came up, and we all just hopped in the car and went down and had quesadillas and margaritas.
Oh, yes. That is how I want to. That's, you know what? That's good for every anniversary. Let me just throw that out there. So to be able to go have some quesadillas and margaritas for my 73rd wedding anniversary with my children would probably be like a golden day. That would be just the best thing sort of ever. But you mentioned their earth boxes. So did you get your love of gardening from your parents, Gary?
Yeah, early on, my mom gardening at home, and it was kind of like it was kind of turning me off to gardening because I had to go out and do all the work. When you're younger, you don't really realize it. And then once I got into the horticulture arena, I said, okay, so I do have this background, and yeah, this is a good thing to do.
It is a good thing to do, and you do grow plants for a living, or a horticulturist for a living, but you also give some away. You've also shown in our Good Things Facebook group that there near your home, y'all have a little free garden for your community. So what's the background on that?
Little Free Gardens started in up in Minnesota, Bismarck, North Dakota, Moorhead, Minnesota, as a way to foster communities by growing vegetables that you could share amongst your neighbors and in your community. That's really the whole idea about it. And my wife found the organization. It's kind of like Little Free Library. But we had Mississippi's first Little Free Garden. We opened that up in 2018. And my neighbors just love it. And when we have extra tomatoes and extra cucumbers, we put a table out by the road, and everybody, has fresh veggies for dinner that night.
Well, you bring up a good point, or two things that I thought of. Number one, if you are a gardener by choice and you just enjoy it and that's your hobby, by the end, especially around this time and on into July, you really start to sort of get tired of your own crop, right? Like you've already put up what you wanted probably to put up. You're taking sacks of your fresh vegetables to church or to work, begging people to take them. Why not just create an area where you can create community around it by offering those to maybe, anyone who comes by or meeting new neighbors? Have you met new neighbors through this, Gary?
Absolutely. We've had several people, stop and, we just moved into the neighborhood and we saw this, can we have some tomatoes? And it's like, of course you can. And it's funny, we have a sign we put out on our neighborhood Facebook page. It's kind of like the Krispy Kreme hot sign. When that sign goes up there, that means that there's veggies out there to come and go.
Oh, I love that. Okay, well, we're having a veggie war today between two vegetables that are deep fried, the onions and the potatoes. And I know not only are you good at growing your produce there at home, but you're also quite the chef and the culinary experts to getting it all tasting delicious. So I'm curious, Gary, are you team onion rings or are you team French fries?
Today, it's onion rings.
But tomorrow?
Probably French fries. I'm not gonna play that game, Rebecca. I'm not gonna make a definite choice, but today is onion rings.
So how would you cook your onion rings best, or do you even cook them?
We buy the frozen pre-breaded ones, and we put them in our air fryer. And we love our air fryer. It's one of the famous chef's air fryers, and we call it our little easy bake oven because we use it almost every single day. And we hardly ever use the big oven anymore.
I have to say, your air fryer is great for onion rings. Haven't tried those, but so many other things as well. Even if they're not battered in something, you can cook up crispy foods all the time in your air fryer. I think everyone should have one in their kitchen for sure. What vegetables are you putting up most right now, Gary? What are you growing out of your ears?
Right now, it's tomatoes and pickling cucumbers. We've got 77 tomato plants going and 36 pickling cucumber plants. And so, we're canning, but most of it is going out to the curb and for the neighbors to enjoy. Well,
this is so exciting. And Gary, I always love having you on Good Things. I just adore your parents' love story. We have some texting in that are sharing that their parents have made it to 70 or close. So I'm curious if you're listening to Good Things and you've got a love story that can surpass 73 years of wedded bliss. I'm sure not every day was blissful, but they made it to 73 years. Then I'd love to know. Let's see if we can beat Gary's parents in terms of the longest love story. But I think this is adorable, and thank you for thinking of Good Things and posting it there, because that's exactly what that page is for stories like this and the Little Free Garden. So thanks, Gary.
Yeah, listen, Rebecca, thanks for sharing it with your audience and inspiring people.
Well, tell them, what do your grandkids call them, or what does grandkids call your mom and dad?
Grandma and Grandpa.
Grandma and Grandpa. Well, we wish them a happy anniversary and many more.
Okay, that's great. Thanks.
All righty. 73 years. I'll be coming up on 14 years in October this year, and I'm like, man, 73 years feels like